Hey everybody, this is Nathan Pennington from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's video I'm going to make on how to help you get from running a 4 hour plus marathon down to a sub 4 hour marathon. So how do you sustain 4 hour marathon pace for 26.2 miles? I mean, we're asking this a 9 hour or 9 minute and 9 second per mile pace for 26.2 miles. There's two key things you need to do. Number one, you need to change up the way you're conducting that long run. So you cannot run easy every single weekend and expect to hold that pace for 26.2 miles, especially if the pace you're running at is between like 950 to 1030 mile pace. Running at that pace is definitely going to help you burn calories. It's definitely going to strengthen your body, help you build more endurance. But when it comes to racing a marathon, that's a whole different strategy that you need to implement. You need to start working on. So basically, what I want to discuss just in this video is as what I did to get to a point where I ran from 2 hours and 43 minutes to under 2 hours and 20 minutes for the marathon, and that's a huge amount of time. It's about 21 minutes, a 21-minute drop in time. So the key thing that I had to do first was to definitely change up how I was thinking. I was focusing too many weekends running far too slow for my long runs. For me, I was doing anywhere from 20 to 22 miles in length for my long run, but it was at like 6:30 to 7-minute mile pace. So granted, that's a very good pace, quality pace, but my goal was to break 2 hours and 22 minutes. So that's 5 minutes and 25 seconds per mile. So I had to do something totally different. And one of the key things that I did do that I want to share with you that will definitely help you get under 4 hours is I started varying the paces of my long run. It wasn't just, running 16 to 22, 24 miles easy the whole way. There is certainly a place for that. You cannot run hard every single weekend and expect to get a return on your investment. But you do have to run very hard and then give your body time to recover from that hard effort. So what I would do is I would start breaking up my long runs in like segments. So say it was like a 20-mile run, I would do like the first 5 miles at an easy pace. So what we did was we started. I've been using heart rate monitors since I was in college. Jack Hazen, he's been at Malone University, my alma mater, for the past 52 years. He got me started on it. Jack's been coaching for years at the elite level, and was the 2012 Olympic USA track and field team assistant coach. So granted, somebody with that kind of background, if you ignore that, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I've been doing basically following Jack's training philosophy with heart rate monitor training since I was in college. So in regards to the long run, I would do, like I was saying, I would break it up into segments. So if it was a 20-mile run, the first 5 miles would be at like 140 heart rate. So that's recovery pace. Between 130 and 150 is nice and relaxed pace. And then 5 miles at 160 heart rate. So when I was very, very fit, that would be anywhere from 520 mile pace to 550 mile pace. So it was very, very high quality miles. And then I would go 5 miles easy again, and then like 3 miles at 160, drop a mile at sub 5-minute mile pace, and then run the last mile at just a jog pace. Other examples would be, say if you're wanting, in my opinion here, this is based on my background, how this can help you break a 4-hour marathon. It's sort of like a fartlek run. You know how fartleks you can do like 30 minutes of 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy, 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. You're varying up your paces. It's not just, and those hard paces are extremely hard. They're run at way faster paces than your goal marathon race pace. So that's kind of like what you want to do with your long run. Like I said, don't run easy. Don't just run easy every single weekend. Your long run, and this is my personal opinion, should be your hardest workout that you do. It's the hardest workout I do by far. It didn't used to be that way, but when I started I mentioned on RunDreamAchieve that I was coached for 3 years by Lisa Rainsberger. Lisa won the 1985 Boston Marathon champ. She's the champ. She won the race. She's won Chicago twice, numerous other marathons around the world. But what we would do is we would vary up the paces of our long runs, and most of it was based on heart rate training. So running at 160 heart rate during your long runs is like running at anywhere from 85 to 88% of your max heart rate. So this is quality, very high quality pace, per mile pace that you're running at. So that's the key. You want to get to a point where you're not just running just easy miles for a long period of time. There's definitely a purpose for that. You definitely want to do that. Definitely not saying not to, but you just don't want to do it every single weekend if you want to break a 4-hour marathon. If you're at 4 hours and 59 minutes and you want to drop all the way down, drop an hour to get to 3 hours and 59 minutes, you have to not only change up the way you're training, but you have to train up how you're thinking. The mind is very, very powerful. You have to visualize yourself doing that, and I say it time and time again on the site. You actually have to see that reality, that what you want has already become a reality in your life. So for me personally, I was obviously doing the hard work. I wanted to break a 2-hour and 22-minute marathon. So it's really no different than breaking a 4-hour marathon. It's just the paces are different. That's it. It's just going to be just as difficult for you to break a 4-hour marathon as it was for me to break a 2-hour and 20-minute marathon. It's the same type of training, but it's the same fundamentals, that if you follow the fundamentals, regardless if you're a total beginner or you're an elite athlete, it works. So if like I said, if you change up how you're doing your long run, like an example, I'll give you an example. Try doing a 16-mile run, okay? Don't do a 16-mile, don't do this workout unless you've built up a base and you have very, very good fitness. Do not try this workout, and like I said, don't try this workout unless you're very fit, but do like a 16-mile run. Do the first 4 miles easy. If you're wearing a heart rate monitor, be running at 130 to 140 heart rate. Then do 1 mile at like 7:30, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Drop it down. It's a very hard mile. So, and you got to also remind that's over, it's about a minute and a half faster than your goal marathon race pace. Or try it anywhere from between 7 minutes and 7:30 pace. Very, very hard, very high quality mile. Then do 4 miles at 150 heart rate, and then you recover. You do 4 miles, then do 5 miles at like 160 heart rate. So again, very, very high quality. Then drop your mileage back down, doing like another 4 or 5 mile segment, nice and relaxed. Then drop another mile at like 7 minutes to 7:30. So do you see how you're changing up how you're running your long run? It's varied paces. It's not just one slow long pace for 20 to 24 miles. So I guess the best way to explain it is Sebastian Coe, the 800-meter world record holder. Well, used to be the 800-meter world record holder. I think he ran like a minute and 41 seconds for 800 meters. I mean, he put it bluntly. He's like, long, slow distance running will produce long, slow runners. So with you trying to break a 4-hour marathon and trying to hold that pace for 26.2 miles, you're definitely not average. There's a very small percentage of people that around the world that can break a 4-hour marathon, and obviously numbers go even further down the faster you want to run the distance. But that's one of the key things that helped me break 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's one of the most important strategies that I want to share with you, regardless of where you're at right now, whether you're at 4 hours and 59 minutes or you're 4 hours flat and a few seconds away. If you change up how you're doing that long run, you're gonna definitely crush the 4-hour marathon. You're gonna be, and the marathon is like that. It's not like a 5K. You can't drop it, an hour off a 5K time, but you can drop an hour off a marathon. So just to give you a heads up on RunDreamAchieve right now, I'm currently working on a course where I'm going to be teaching you how to break the 4-hour marathon. It's going to be a very, very extensive course, and it's going to conclude with a 16-week plan where I'm going to give you a day-by-day strategy on how to break this barrier and get under it. I want to see far more marathoners get under the 4-hour marathon. Um, I read about a guy who tried 86 times to break the 4-hour marathon and finally did it on his on his last try. So kudos to that guy. But you really do. You have to be very, very tenacious. You have to be persistent, consistent with your training. But I can tell you right now from my background and experience too that if you change up how you're doing that, how you're doing your long run, change up each week. Don't run easy. Just don't run just easy, long and easy every single weekend. But also don't run hard every weekend and expect to break 4 hours either. You have to give your body enough time to recover. So run hard. The following week, run relaxed, nice and easy. Give your body enough time to recover from the previous week's long run. So definitely do that. So number two, and equally as important, is do not sip fluids in a marathon and expect to get under 4 hours. You have to learn how to actually drink fluid, get enough calories in your body, get enough fluid in your system as well. This is why so many marathon runners, including myself, I did it for years. It wasn't until I started being mentored by a Boston Marathon champion and two of the world's top distance running coaches that they actually saw what was going on. And one of the biggest reasons why I wasn't improving in the marathon was I was not taking in enough fluid. So my best advice I can give you is practice doing this in training first. So if any mistakes that you make in training, you make it in training. You don't make it in the race. So if you say you have an 18 to 22 mile long run planned, at least what I did in training, what I still do is, I'll put out water bottles every 3 miles, and usually around mile 8 to mile 18, I'll put like a packet of goo, so you can get that 100 to 150 calories in you as well at those particular points, because obviously that's a point in the marathon where most people start to that really need that extra boost, that energy. So practice that in training. Get to a point where you're learning how to hold a water bottle while you're running and drinking, and not just taking a Dixie cup and taking a few sips out of it and expecting to run 26.2 miles in under a 9:09 mile pace. So there are a lot of different things you have to do to get to sustain 4-hour marathon pace. Remember, that's 9:09 per mile average. That's the average pace. So you also have to remember that a lot of those miles are going to be under 9-minute mile pace. You might be running 8:40s, 8:50s, 9:20s, 9:30s, but that's the average. So there's a lot of other things that go into breaking a 4-hour marathon, but I'm certain that these two things that I've covered here, obviously in a video there's only so much I could say, but there's a lot more I'm going to be covering in the 4-hour marathon course that I'm building right now. So definitely leave a comment below. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Let me know if there's any other pain points that you've had in the marathon, that especially in regards to breaking 4 hours. Anything that I can cover either in another video or in a post, or we can discuss in person over a video conference call. But definitely keep those two things in mind. Vary up the pace of your long runs. Be patient with it, because it does take a lot of patience to get fit. Definitely first spend 4 to 6 weeks running easy mileage before you start any sub 4-hour marathon training program, because usually these programs are anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks. I have actually training plans that I've built specifically on how to break a 4-hour marathon on the site itself. So you're welcome to stop by the shop as well and pick out one of those courses or one of those training plans if you want. But again, feel free to leave a comment below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I look forward to making more videos on how to get under this barrier, because I know you can do it. It doesn't matter if you're at 4:59 or you're at 4 hours flat. It's just a few minor changes you need to make in your training, and that's really going to make the difference in the long run. Be persistent and run, dream, achieve.